2, 1. Stem cell research has been greatly debated for quite some time now. But what is a stem cell? A stem cell is an undifferentiated cell, or in layman's terms, an unassigned cell, that can develop into almost any other cell. Stem cells are found in embryos, which come from a sperm and an egg combining in a woman's uterus. Whenever stem cells are retrieved from an embryo, the embryo is destroyed. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Half of the people believe that life starts with the embryo at the point of conception, when the sperm meets the egg, whereas the other half of the people believe that life starts when the baby is born. This has caused stem cell research to become quite taboo and forced the government to kind of stay away from funding stem cell research. Although there are no federal laws that ban stem cell research, the government has placed plenty of federal restrictions on Congress's ability to fund and promote stem cell research. To understand the history of stem cell research, we have to start with the legalization of abortion in 1973 with the Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. This is what really catalyzed the whole stem cell research debate. After abortion was legalized, scientists had more access to embryos in which they could open up, look inside, play with stem cells, and kind of see the possibilities in which we can use them for other medical research. In 1978, scientists discovered that embryos could be formed in Peachtree dishes and then placed into a mother's uterus, and a baby would form. This is called in vitro fertilization. Louise Brown was the first in vitroly fertilized baby to be born. Afterward, 3 years later, in 1981, the first stem cell was isolated in a mouse. And then again, in 1988, stem cells were isolated for the first time in human beings. During the Bill Clinton administration, the NIH Human Embryo Research Panel asked for federal funding. Bill Clinton said no to embryos specifically for research. However, he did say yes for embryos that were donated by a mother and a father. During the Bush administration, in August of 2001, President Bush cut almost 60 lines of federal funding for stem cell research, which pushed us back way beyond where we're supposed to be today in the guise of medical research, leaving only 20 lines of funding. In April 2004, 206 members of Congress asked the president to expand federal funding. In May of 2005, the House of Representatives voted to loosen regulations on stem cell research, allowing the government to use leftover embryos from in vitro fertilization. Bush reluctantly agreed. His mental reasoning may have been that since they were going to waste anyways, we might as well research on them. However, embryos could not specifically be cultivated for research, which also slowed it down. In July of 2006, the Senate passed 3 bills regarding stem cell research. The first, making it legal to use leftover embryos from in vitro fertilization. The second, making it legal to create, grow, and abort fetuses specifically for research purposes. And the third made it legal to isolate pluripotent, which is an embryonic-like stem cell that doesn't necessarily destroy the embryo like stem cells do. Afterward, President Bush vetoed the Stem Cell Research Enhancement Act. During the Obama administration in March of 2009, President Obama removed many of the previous restrictions that were placed on stem cell research and created plenty of new lines of funding. I believe that stem cell research has negatives and positives. Stem cell research could lead to regeneration of organs, the regeneration of limbs, the curing of plenty of diseases such as cancer and MS, Alzheimer's. It also has plenty of negatives as well, though. Funding research can lead to humans playing God, the extension of natural life beyond what God had intended, to disrupting the laws of nature. You could see an increase in abortions because people could become more inclined to abort with the incentive that their embryo would go towards stem cell research. From all this information, I've concluded that the positives outweigh the negatives. I don't think that we should necessarily legalize stem cells, the use of stem cells in the medical world. However, we should legalize and fund stem cell research so we can become more knowledgeable and know the benefits and the downsides, and it could eventually lead to realistic medical applications. Thank you.